Hello everybody, Gerone Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. In this video I have a posted pic of an ancient church sitting somewhere out in somebody's woods in somebody's locations. I don't know where this church is actually at. It's an image that I pulled offline that I was actually drawn to, and you can tell that it's an old church, apparently sitting in wood somewhere, and there's the bell there, and it has actually a cross at the top of the church. Has the old wood and Gothic style door, and it just seems like it's like a little house sitting out in the woods, to be totally honest with you. Looks like it has roofing that actually sticks off the side here on the side. Like a triangle roof, which may have been added on, because I imagine that this would probably have been stone back in the day, the whole thing covered in stone. It is through my paranormal experience and encounter that I'm drawn to certain objects like this. It just is baffling as to how, when I look at these things, I don't see them for what they are, but I see them for something unique and oddly different. And it's like I'm drawn dimensionally into this world, this dimensional world of long ago. And it's like if I was the person that either constructed this building, or I have first-hand knowledge on why it was built and what was the cause for behind it being built. Like I've told you in many of my other videos, that through my paranormal experience and encounter, is that there's the cross again up there on the top of the church. The cross to me represents what the cross referencing of mankind's genetic being, meaning that the cross is meaning the cross referencing of mankind. That's it. If you were to ask anyone what did the cross stand for, and it's pretty much, it's just a given. They don't have a definition on what the cross means, and whether it's Christianity or whatever. Even if you were to ask the Pope, he probably couldn't even tell you. You know what I mean? They say that it's a representation of religion. Well, I found that the cross, that religion means the genetic altering of mankind's being, and that's the ancient history, the ancient texts, the ancient everything which religion stands for. I have traced the origins back to the genetic bridging and manipulation of mankind, and this is how I tie the cross hand in glove in with that as well too, stating that the cross means the cross referencing of mankind's genetic being. And wherever you see these buildings and these locations, such locations, there's this representation of genetic bridging and genetic manipulation from that of our ancestors, which calls for our existence. People, we did not spiritually or miraculously appear on this planet. We evolved on this planet from space through microorganisms that evolved through the oceanic bodies of our world. Those microorganisms would then grow into, pyramid up into the largest creatures of our oceanic waters, and before evolving onto land as what we have become today, through bodies of dinosaurs and other creatures that calls for our creation. I have the blueprint, whether you want to believe it or not. I have 500 plus videos here. Look at my other videos, and I have no end to the videos that I can make. So I have the blueprint. I have experienced it. It's, if I think about it, it comes to me, which also I'm gonna deviate from what I'm doing here. But you see these woods back here, all of these woods in this location. I don't believe that even scientists can explain graphically how those woods actually got here, but I can, and I'm going to do so in a video when I get a chance. All of the vegetation, all of this right here around this building, I'm going to describe that in a video later, and not just here, but for globally, all the vegetation globally. You're not going to believe where this stuff comes from. And you're not going to believe how it got planted. You're not going to believe none of this until how it got seeded onto the soil. You're not going to believe it until I actually bring you into my world and show you how it actually got there. But anyway, this building I have in my area, my town, on the larger scale of this stone. I don't know what this specific stone is called, but we have several church buildings like this in my area, but they're much larger buildings on a much larger scale. When I look at this stone, I can see bodies, I can see heads, I can see dimensional images, which translates into almost like a language describing things. Up here, I can see this is the body area. I'm at the waist, the body of a woman. This is the torso. The legs are down here. I see her hands extended out and holding a tray with something on it. And there's her face right there. There's her nose. There's her face. There's her eye. I'll bring it in closer and see if we can get you to see what I see before I actually start going into my other images. The face of the woman is right there. I'm at her chin and her mouth right there. There's her nose. There's her eye. This is her head. And here's her arm coming out and it's extending over. And she has a tray in her hand with food on it right here. She's a witch-like woman. I call her the mother of creation. All right. In these corners, which is amazing, which are the cornerstones, I see reptiles. I see heads of dinosaurs. I see lizards. And I see other beings, which is amazing because when you think about cornerstones, this is with the Masons. You know that with the Masons that they hold in an occult symbolism behind their cornerstones. George Washington with some of the buildings built in Washington, how they discussed about how he did something amazing with the cornerstone. It's amazing because each one of these cornerstones, I can see something detailed in them. All right, I'm going to take you. I took this down. I took this image, and I can open up a dimensional portal. They call it mirroring. I call it opening a dimensional portal. And I know why these images appear. They're not just random selected images. I'm going to show you that they create a systematic image, a slide view, like a slide projector of a motion picture of an ancient past, which relates to this building and the beings that built the building and the beings before them that they evolved from. I'm going to show you something with that. I might have to click out of here. Oh, I made some highlights. Let me see if we got them. Do I have my highlights here? Okay. I made some highlights here. I don't know if you can see yeah, you can. This is the bottom of the woman's body here that I have highlighted. She's almost like in a garment, in a robe. And then here's her arm sticking out and she's holding a tray over here. Okay. And here's her head. She's a witch-like woman. She appears, people, when I tell you that you can see her chin, her mouth, and her nose, and her eyes, all of it is right here in this area. I have other highlights here. At each corner, down here as well, too. I have highlights, which you can barely see, which resembles creatures, lizards, and other, like, gremlin type creatures that evolved through these lizards, which all are describing creatures that we evolved through. I'm going to click out of this and I'm going to go into an arrangement of other pictures. Inbox, which shows you. Now, I don't have these pictures in order. If I were to slide them in order, you would see, you would understand this more better. This is that same church building, which is reduced by sliding it over itself to a smaller factor. People, it becomes a totem pole with images of beings in it. You know how in like Mesoamerica or in India, and not in India, and like in Mexico, and where Indians were in America, where they were the totem poles. People, this is nothing short than that of a totem pole. In each column here is a different head, and there's a being. I can draw you each one of these beings, which is here. And then finally, people, look, check this out. It's because this really gets crazy because we see this stuff in cartoons. I don't know if you can, yeah, I'm going to come in, you're in close. If you look here, this is the eye of a bull. That's an eye. There's the bull's nostril. There's the bull's mouth right there. This section, the second section up, is the head of a bull. Right there. Then it's crazy because on top of the bull's head is like one of those like lodge member hats. Like it reminds me of like a Fred Flintstone in the water. He was in the Water Buffalo Lodge member, the Loyal Water Buffalo Lodge member, and the bull is wearing a hat. And then on top of that, it also looks like the same hat like the Royal Guards be wearing, and then the strap comes across the face. But in this case right here, there is a bull wearing one of those hats. And then on top of the bull's hat is the head of a Mexican looking fella wearing an ombre. This comes from that church image. I want to put these images also in a slide, but I'm going to keep going because I'm going to show you some other things here. Oh, can I keep going? Okay, it did go. Look at this, people, because this gets crazy. Look at this creature looking down at you here, right here. Do you know what this is? What that becomes right there? Let me see if I can come in closer because I want you to get a full look at that bottom. Do you know what this is? This is an ancient snake-looking creature like a python, but it has a head on it that's a cross between a dog and a cat, and its body is coiled right here. It's coiled in on itself, and there's its head and its eyes looking at you. And then there's its reptile body, and the building, then this still is the building, people. And the building shows, now, on the back of the snake, on the body of the snake, you have, on this totem pole, other beings to where finally you got the snake at the bottom, and then this like the building block is the snake at the bottom. Then you have a reptilian being here. Then you have coming up here, you have almost another reptilian being, and then you have a mutation of a man right there with a plug in his mouth, right there at the top. A plug in his mouth, a ball. Look. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Now this remind you, people, this is still that church. These are all images taken from that church. The building is reduced down. When the image is compressed, these images are created. Look at that snake creature at the bottom. Absolutely amazing. Okay, this is a wider version of that same image. Look at this. A totem pole, a resolution. You can see more of the snake here now with it wider. Look at that. Look at the eyes of the snake. Now it looks more like a snake where its body is coiled around. This is that church. Look at this. Each one of these images, look, and this guy now becomes, look at his head up here. You know what he looks like now? This is his cheek. That's his cheek. Look at his big lips. You know what this guy's face becomes now? From that snake? An Olmec head. Right there. That's the head of an Olmec. Right there. Shows you from this creature, reptile, showing you a morphing dimensional images of existences from that church building. Okay, let me keep it moved. Oh, hold on. There's my ape. Okay. Here. Underneath the Olmec head, right there in the Olmec's chin, the body, the lips, and the face of an ape is right there. The Olmec's head, his bottom half of his cheek is created by that of the face of an ape. And the ape's body right here. There's the ape's shoulder. There's the ape's snout. There's the ape's the ape's forehead and cranial is created by the bottom lip line of the Olmec looking guy right there. And look at the Olmec's nose. I mean, this is it's absolutely phenomenal because I can draw all of these beings out as they appear right here. All right, let's keep it moving. And in each slide, people, the images change. Look at the ape comes more into play right there now, more like a reptilian guy. Look at that. Right here. There, look at the Olmec head shape shifting. Look at these creatures. Now this guy here in the middle, you know what that guy there is? A turtle. And this guy here is changing off the head of the snake, changing into a gremlin-like creature. The snout of the snake right there. It's changing into showing you how from this being, the genetics of this being, other creatures evolved out of. And up here, in the peak of the building, you can see the teeth, the chin, and you can see the face of an ape right there. Here. There's the nose, there's the eyes, right there. And look at this face of the Indian. It comes like almost like an Indian face there now. Look how the indigenous face comes there. Right there where I told you the ape was. Look at the mouth there. Look at the face. Look at the face here, people. Look at this. There's the mouth, there's the nose, there's the eyes. Look at this, the totem pole of faces. I even see a black guy here backwards, right here. Right there, I see the face of a black man. I see his mustache, his nose, his eyes, and everything. And then up here is the face of an ape. Look at that looking at you. All from that building compressed, being compressed. And you're going to see some of the images. I'm going to show you how I open it back up again. I'm going to keep going because I'm going to give you some good images here. Look at this guy, how he comes into play. You see how all of the other images disappeared? And look at this guy here. This is consistent. This almost tells you that this has to be somewhere in the Mexican area, because all of this here looks like something that you might see with in Mayan paintings. Something where there was some indigenous people on land. This is where this has to be somewhere in America. For the simple fact that all of this here, look at this. Look at this guy. Look at the helmet, the headwear. Look at everything there. He's actually in the stone, inscribed in stone. There's his shoulders. There's everything there. Look at his knees, his body. His whole body comes into play. And look how the snake almost disappears. He's riding on the back of the snake. The snake is here, morphing out of the picture, but he's kneeling. This guy is kneeling on the snakes. Here's the snake body again, people, here, and his knees are here. And look at this guy's face looking at you, cheek, eyes, nose. Look at this, showing you how we were created. Well, I know the whole story how we were created, but it'll take forever to tell you because it's a never-ending story. Yeah, and we still have our guy up here, but this is amazing. Look at this. Nothing like this has never been seen before. Okay, I'm going to close this. I have to go into more images because I have something. I'll put more in writing. I think we're 3 down. I got like 40 slides to go through, so I want to make my way through them. All right, we have 22 attachments here. These might be open wider. Okay. Look at this, how all of this here reminds me. I gotta go out some. I gotta zoom out. Okay. Can you see the face of a person here? The chin, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the hair. That ghost-like face right there. It's a witch. Right there on center. It shows you the witch transcending from out of the stone into a body of another person. And this person will later turn into a girl's face, which actually looks like, which reminds me of the story of Hansel and Gretel in the woods, or with Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma's house, or all these stories about a witch in the woods in a house, are like Dorothy and the seven dwarfs, and this, and then Snow White with the apple. All this stuff seems to take shape, and seems those fairy tales seem to become a reality in these images. Watch this. Here, there's our little girl, right there. Look at our little girl, right here. There's her eye, there's her eye, there's her nose. Look at her chunky face. Here's her hair. Now I'm gonna go back to show you she morphs back into a witch. Oh, I got the wrong one. Let's go here. The little girl is now a witch. And I'm gonna take it. Now I'm gonna take you back now. Look. She's a witch there, with an open mouth, face, hair, her eyes is up here, her head is tilted back. Now matter of fact, let me come in closer. I'm gonna give you the best possible shot you can get on this. Open mouth witch. The head of an open mouth witch. There's her chin, her mouth, her nose, and her eyes, and this is her hair. Now the image is going to go into a little girl. Where's my arrows? Oh gosh, come on now. What is going on? Okay, my arrows did come up. Now here. Look at the little girl. Like something you see in your kids' cartoons. Look at that face, people. The eyes, the nose, the chin, the mouth, the droopy cheekbones. Look at that. And the hair. Something you'll see in your kids' cartoon. Now what is she doing? Her hands are holding out on each side like a piece of fruit. Passed off to this head over here. Giving fruit out. Like something that you'll see in a fantasy cartoon. Out in the woods, a shack. Again, Hansel and Gretel, all of these folk tale stories. Okay, what do we have here for you to immediately see? There's images in here that I can see. I see the face of an ape. Those apples are right there in the ape's cranial there. There's the ape's face here. And then you see an open arm being down here. I see all of that. I don't know how much of that. Oh, you can see the ape's face perfectly. Here. It's a reptilian ape. Look. Oh, this is great. There's the ape's mouth open. There's the ape's nostril there. There's the ape's eye. There's the ape's eye. Look at the eyebrows. I'm over top of the eyebrows. Look at that, people. Look at this. And these little apples are there at the ape's face. And then look at this. This is a church building. Opening and closing a book. I can read the entire book message of what is being said here. Then there's a little reptilian guy here squatting with his arms open. This whole page can be described and describes how you were created and how existence is calls for your creation. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to take you through these images. Yeah. It's an open book. Such dimensional locations, I call them dimensional portals, which describe who we are. There's the little girl again, right there. There she is right there. Look at how she has her body open up and she's taking something into her mouth. Look at this. And then she's passing something back out. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. She's sucking something up into her mouth. Look. She's sucking this. Look. Her own clothing. This is her clothing being drawn back into her mouth. Look at that. All describing a story. Well, actually, she's not sucking something. It's DNA that she's taking back. Here's where I have it open. Oh, here's the witch's face. You can probably see real good. That's in stone. This is without the mirroring, but it's up close. You can see. There's her chin. There's her bottom lip. The detail is phenomenal. There's the open mouth. I mean, the mouth line. Look at the nose. You can see the lines in the nose, and there's the eye. And she's facing the little girl. Now check this out. Now this is where this gets crazy at. Because the witch is here. There's the witch's face. And you see it twice, people, because the image is doubled. But check this out. Remember I told you that the little girl was sucking something into her mouth? Well, the witch's arm goes out here with this apple and holding out the tray. The little girl's now, you can see that the little girl is sucking the sleeve of the witch, telling you that there's a transformation of DNA. What is given out at churches? Not no Last Supper. You know what's given out at churches? Communion. This message, people, is an ancient message which is telling you that there is DNA given out. And when they give you communion, what are they telling you? They're giving out the body of Christ and the blood of Christ. Here is something in real sense from a dimensional portal that I opened that is describing that there is actual DNA being exchanged through the buildings, through these ancient religious buildings, an occult that you know nothing about, a reality. Now, this reality is something that is transcended to the future, people. Now look, there's a closer up image of this. Look, there's the witch, nose, mouth, chin, all of this. And look, and the little girl here, which I showed you, eating the DNA. And then the DNA shows you where it happens to the little girl and the witch. It becomes in one. Because when I was flipping the pictures back and forth, it went from the little girl to the witch becoming a reality to that of the little girl. Now, I didn't tell you something else about all of this. This building and its structure represents, here's another image. Look at this, the totem pole. I gotta back off. This building and its structure, you know what it represents? The building design, the chemistry behind it. This is where the Masons come in at. The building, people, represents the body of the creatures which we evolved from. It represents the body of the dinosaur or the snakes, the reptile skin. The design of these blocks were placed in a way, in a sense, to mimic the bodies of the creatures which we evolved through. That's why these creatures appear in here. The snake, the lizards, and heads of dinosaurs. This is describing that to those ancient ancestors that we evolved, and to those that built this building, they're paying an occult homage to the creatures that we evolved through. We evolved through the body of the dinosaur and many other creatures as well. Look at this. Look at this. I gotta. Can I back off so you can see more? I'm not going to try to describe to you everything that is here, but it describes. I'm leaving out some details, but look at these images. They are true and they are correct. The building opens up and closes like a book, and I'm going to open it up for you as well too. But look at the faces. Each one of these describes something different, uniquely different. Look at this. Look at the top here. Creatures that you see in folk tales, creatures that you see in Disney, in cartoons for your kids. Look, this is what I want to show you, because it's amazing how the top of this, notice how this has a cat appearance now, shows you almost like a cat. Watch how now it's going to turn into a king figure if I can get it to go. Oh gosh, I clicked right out of it. Can I get back to the same one that I was? I'll start from here. I know it's not. There's something about this that I can read that I can't share everything with you, but there's something about this that is absolutely amazing, because you're going to have people come around and think that, oh, well, I opened this up so now they can read it. You can't read this because you don't know what it is. I'm only able to find this and tell you about this stuff because I experienced it. Yeah, there's no way that anyone but I could read this. I'm going to show you something. Oh, down here, you see this sinister looking figure. There's the eye, there's the mouth. And if you notice up here at the top, there's a lion looking figure. Here at the top, there's a lion up here. All the way at the top, there's the nose, there's the mouth, there's the whisker area, there's the top lip. There's a lion in here. Now check this out. Watch how that lion turns into, look, there's the lion, now the lion transforming, mutating into the face of like a human. Look, there's the nose, there's the mouth. It's mutating. Now in the next slide, check this out. What happens? A face of a king appears. Can you see that? You can see the face of a king. wearing a crown emerging. And I know what all of this means. It's truly amazing. I'm going to keep going. Look at some of these pictures. There's our monkey again. Look at our monkey wearing a crown that you see in royalty. Look, check it out. And those two balls are up there in his head. You know what's crazy about this is because you see royal crowns back in the day that looks like this. Just like this. Look. With balls sticking out. But look at the monkey nostrils, people. Look at that. Look at the monkey's head. Look, you can see all the complete description about a monkey right there. The nostrils and everything. Look at it. I'm bringing it in closer. Look. Look how real this is. Look. A dimensional hologram. Look at the nostrils. Look at the face. Look. It's wearing. Look at the headwear that it's wearing with the two bulbs up there. Look at that. Look. Something that and how the monkey's mouth is outstretched. Look at this. A realistic look into a reality. This here is so for real that this should just blow you away. I'm taking a church building and pulling out holographic images which are describing something. Okay, that's still our monkey transcending and they're transforming into something else. All right, where we at here? Loading. There's the little girl again, where the monkey once was. Look, out of the monkey's hat. This was once the monkey's hat. Now the little girl's got the two bulbs from the monkey. And look, and in fact, this actually, you know what this is? What this transforms into now? I'm going to tell you, a jester's hat. A royal jester's hat, because with the little girl there in the middle of her head being there. Look, there's the fold down flaps. This becomes a jester cap right here. I can draw this perfectly into a jester's cap right here. An ancient, like medieval style jester's cap. That's what that is. Look at this here, because this is unique, because when you close the image up a little ways, you can't see what's in the top. I'm gonna have to get you on. All right, it's too light at the top. There's a clergy figure created there. There's a Mexican-looking guy here and a clerical figure there. I'm gonna have to create a slide video for this as well. All right, I'm gonna have to keep going. I'm gonna have to put more in writing. Look at these images, people. Look at this guy's face. Went from looking like a Mexican to like a Clint Eastwood fellow. Look at that. Showing you how these look. Let me go back to showing you. Reminds you of Clint Eastwood in The Good, Bad, and Ugly. Look how these images change before your eyes. Look, and this is all that church building, like opening and closing a book. Look at this. Look at this. These stories. Okay, that's it on that. I gotta click out of this. I'm gonna go to the last one. And then we're finished. And I'll probably have to make us a slide for this so you guys can see these pictures better. I'm also gonna put them on my Facebook page as well too. And I have 9 pictures here, so let's see what we have here. Alright, this is the building again, the church building. From that building, people, comes all of those images that I just produced for you. A holographic image or a dimensional image, a portal that I can open with this building, because this building represents an ancient occult presence which actually describes how mankind was created and the creatures that he came from. I'm telling you that such buildings like this, unusual buildings that you see in ancient church buildings, these buildings, people, represent the bodies of the creatures from which they evolved. They are megalithic structures, especially in places globally around the world, in Spain and in England, where you see these buildings built in medieval and mid-Gothic style, even castles. These buildings represent the bodies of creatures from which we evolved from. There's a hidden dark secret about all of this that I could go on forever and ever to describe to you about. It's a never-ending story. I can tell you about how these buildings work, what are the purposes of them. It's just so much to describe that, I mean, I would get sidetracked trying to describe to you all, but it's like people, when I'm think about them, I am the person that built them. I become one with the energies, with the communicated sources of how all of this information, which I'm telling you never dies. There's a network of information that's out there, and it runs through my body. Like, it's like, if I want to know something, all I have to do is ask myself. It's just this amazing power that I have. It really is. Okay, I gotta bring this up now. Okay. I see it. Yeah, I've drawn some faces on there. These are the other pictures. Okay, let's keep going. What I got here. That's them as okay, I might have to be clicking out now. I think that this is probably, oh, there's that guy again. I'm gonna bring him in closer because you can see his face. Let me bring this in closer. Look at this, people. Look at the face of that guy there. Look at this. You know that should be impossible to do. Look at that. An ancient inscription that's hidden dimensionally in a regular plain building before your eyes. You're gonna have to see my slab video on this to see this and know that this is real. You know what I mean? Again, there's a snake, there's the head of a turtle, and then you have an ancient fella that looks like he could be before the Maya time, maybe even before that. I mean, these beings, and then the top of the building becomes an ape straddling. This is an ape straddling on all of that, like an ape on top. You know what that reminds me? And then look, and then in the ape's body, there's a head right there in the ape's body, and the forehead of that head creates the ape's mouth right there. The top of the church building rounds off, becomes the ape's cranial up here. Here's the ape's eyes. Here's the ape's mouth, and then the ape's mouth creates the forehead of another being, which is in the ape's chest area. Where the ape's chest cavity is, there's an eye, nose, people, and then there's teeth, and then it comes down into this guy. You know what it reminds me of? It just reminds me of so much. I'm gonna let it go. Yep, the way the ape straddled the what you call them, the Empire State Building. Here it is, a close up of that picture right here, people. Everything that I just described to you. Look at it come in closer. Look at this. So, check this out. I'm going to describe this to you right quick. Down here at the bottom, you had a snake coiled over. There's the snake's face. Goes into, there's a turtle. Then you have this being here that looks like it could be Maya. It's a king, there's a crown and everything. Then on top of that, you have a head, which is in the center of an ape's body, and I can see the head now more clear. This is the face of a cat, right there. There's the whiskers, there's the cat's mouth, and everything, it's a mutation of a man and between a man and a cat. There's the eyes, and then their mouth of the area of a monkey, which is the monkey's head and all up here wearing a crown. This is the monkey's shoulders. Showing you that the monkey and the cat was crossed with each other to create a new bloodline, and it's describing everything that was done here. A totem pole, which is this is how we know that this is from America with Indians, because the totem pole is originally from America, right? So I'm thinking I'm right. Anyway, all right. So from North America. So this is telling me that this church has to be in North America. Now check this out. In this Maya face, I'm hoping that you're getting a clear picture. The Maya guy is here, the Maya king, or not a Mayan king, I'm sorry, what appears to be a Mayan king, but he's not, because he seems much older than that. He's wearing a crown, this king figure. There's his eyes. Here's his mouth right there. Underneath his chin is the face of another person right here, and then showing you that he's bridged off of the turtle, showing you through each stage and level from this snake of genes, which calls for the existence of the next creature, and it shows you from each side what was brought in and then what was taken out, the genes from this church building. Pictures never before seen until just now, released here on my channel. Look at this. I'm going to get away from this, and describing the true evolution of man. I have some of it highlighted. In fact, I'm going to bring you into this because I gave them some of them. I gave eyes. Look at this, people. Look. I'm going to put these images on my page and you'll be able to see some of them. Okay. I'm going to click out it. My name is Gerone Wright. I appreciate you for watching.